Hello and welcome to another update video about Ether. So Ether's price development there, it's coming together at the moment in line with the, let's say, projected and forecasted movement in this wave 4 correction. So I think the price action makes it quite clear that the wave count that I already talked about in previous videos doesn't need to change at the moment. So the roadmap remains the same. The support levels that I communicated earlier today in my previous video, they don't have to change. And yeah, the wave count doesn't have to change. The only thing that happened was we saw an overshooting B wave today, just indicating the bullishness on the Ethereum chart. So obviously we had the BTC ETFs approved. And while Bitcoin is selling off, Ether is performing quite well actually. Yes, you might say, okay, Ether is selling off as well, but Ethereum is still holding currently at around the same price like Thursday, the same low. So we had a rally, sold off, but Bitcoin is below that, for example. We see it on the ETH BTC chart as well, that ETH is performing better than Bitcoin at the moment, yeah. So Ether is outperforming Bitcoin. And well, it might be sort of now the ETH rally ahead of the ETF approval potentially in May. So that's obviously the next big event after the halving. So Ether is currently coming down in the C wave. We talked about that structure in the previous video. So the good news is we now have basically the 3 waves of the current correction in place. This C wave might not be finished yet. So I'm talking about the overall structure that started here with this wave 2 low on Wednesday, the 3rd of January. We had a wave 1 to the upside, wave 2 to the downside, wave 3 to the upside, then here the wave 4. And there should be one more high in wave 5. But because we're dealing here with an overall diagonal pattern, we can or have to allow for a pullback down to, if needed, the golden ratio, the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement. And yeah, it's at $2,362. That's sort of the maximum it should really do. Anything below that will mean that, well, we are probably falling back into this previous wave 4. I don't assume that at the moment. I think there is a good chance that ETH will hold support, but we will see. We will see. Certainly something has changed. ETH is outperforming BTC. That means also when the price drops on the USD chart, ETH is dropping less, whereas when we get turnarounds, then ETH should perform better to the upside than Bitcoin. Typically, such a correction like a wave 4 that we've been talking about is a sideways correction. So these wave 4 corrections can turn into larger flat structures. This here looks like a flat at the moment, in which we have an overshooting B wave. But they can also turn into triangles or other patterns. It doesn't really look like a triangle at the moment. I presented that earlier today on Telegram and Discord. The target range for the C wave, ideal target range for the C wave is between $2,541 and $2,488. That would be ideal. So the $2,489 level or $88 level is really key as well. That's a 38.2 retracement. So there's different ways to calculate the length of such a correction or the target area. One way is to take the length of the A wave and we compare that with the length of the C wave. That gives me the white box. Basically what I should include anyway is the 100% extension level. Don't know why it doesn't show here, but that was already reached. So technically this correction could be done, but if you look at the subwaves and maybe we go to the 15-minute chart, I know it's very small. It's a very small time frame, but it looks like we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3. This could be the wave 4. One more low might happen here, and then we will have 5 waves down. And that would technically mean that this C wave could actually be complete. So the next micro support is the 1.236 extension level of the A wave. That takes us to 2,541. And then we've got 2,521 as next target. And yeah, as I said, 2,488. So ideally, that would be my preference. ETH would complete the correction in this region. Anything below that is acceptable for a wave 4. But we'll see. It would be very long for a C wave then. Yeah. So 2,425 is still acceptable. And also, if it really has to do it, 2,362, but that would be already very, very deep for a fourth wave. But as long as the support levels in the orange box are holding, it's a reasonable assumption that a fifth wave can take the price, well, towards 2,800, 2,900 and beyond. Just in this fifth wave, it will depend on how the wave 4 bottoms here. Then we go when and where, and then we can calculate a target for the wave 5. That's my update about ETH. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.